Okay, so this is a drawer of all of my, like, I guess, high-end to luxury eyeshadow singles. These shadows are the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill from, I want to say back in the day, but I generally don't really care about expirations of like powder products because everything tends to stay fairly pristine. Liquids, creams, yeah, I absolutely check those out fairly often. Do the smell test, have things separated. But eyeshadows and powder products, I'm generally not too concerned about. So these are no longer available. You can't even get them. So I'm not going to swatch them because there's no point. But these are keeps. They have released newer ones and I'll show you the one that I have. So we have two MAC paint pots that I actually thought I was going to declutter, but I just swatched them. The top is Constructivist and the bottom is Indianwood, and they're both still incredibly creamy. So keeping these, well, I don't know about, maybe not Constructivist. We're gonna keep Indianwood. We'll keep the bottom one. Okay, next up is a Gucci single. It's in the shade Oxydus. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. I really love this eyeshadow. I would say that throughout the line, different colors and the different finishes perform differently. I have decluttered one of these. I've only bought two. I think the problem with Gucci Beauty is there are some really great things, but there's also a lot of not great things. And the ones that aren't good are like really not good and like have no appeal. So even though the packaging is like absolutely killer, I think like the formulas, they kind of, I don't know who they need to bring in to kind of work on it, but there's just so much potential here. I'm keeping this one. This is a Dose of Color single in the shade Block Party. When they released this line, I remember being really excited because a lot of the colors look so beautiful and like super, super bold. And I actually purchased two from Ulta, but the other one, it was like a green and it came damaged, like completely crumbled. But this one stayed intact. This is so gorgeous. Isn't it? Ugh, like, I mean, I don't want to be like anyone can wear this, but I think anyone who likes this color can pull it off. It has just enough gold sparkle in it. All right, let's see. I want to test something. Ooh, perfect. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I have a whole nother section of eyeshadows that I want to do for you guys that are all sparkles and glitters. And I'm just going to shine a flashlight on them. But this is like gorgeous, right? Oh, imagine this in the evening. Okay, 3 Kat Von D singles. Keeping all of these. I feel like Kat Von D comes out with a lot of great products, but she keeps discontinuing things in favor of like a new formula or new packaging or new, I don't know, you know what you guys know what I mean. You guys see how like it's like, you know, touch and go with her products. But this is Synergy, Thunderstruck, and Lolita, and there they are top to bottom. Synergy is so smooth. I love it. Thunderstruck is something I picked up because I think Samantha Ravindal back in the day was like, this is a beautiful highlight, and it really is. And then Lolita, I mean, it's a matte. It doesn't swatch particularly well, but the formula is really, really good. I really love it. Okay, so right here, I decided to kind of combine some shadows that have no family. So this is Urban Decay Lounge, I believe. Yes. So they've updated their packaging ever since their launch, as in like the Urban Decay launch of makeup in general. It's probably still one of my favorite shades. And here is Marc Jacobs Omega Shadow in Oh Yeah. And if he ever came out with a palette with this formula, I would be all over it because they're really, really stunning. This is Rouge Bunny Rouge, Abyssinian Catbird, also really beautiful. Okay, lastly is an Eyes to Kill Stellar Shadow, and mine is in the shade number 4. This is kind of spongy, but not like a color pop. It doesn't give that much. You can just press down into it and then kind of swirl it around. These wear really well. I will say I picked up another shade along with this one, and it didn't work out as well for me, but this one is really beautiful and it stays on and lasts a really long time. So left to right, Urban Decay Lounge, Marc Jacobs Oh Yeah, Rouge Bunny Rouge, Abyssinian Catbird, and the Eyes to Kill Stellar in number 4. So the Eyes to Kill obviously is something that's like very kind of, it's, I don't want to say sheer, but sheer to medium. It can be built up. You just kind of blend it. It's kind of like when you want that no makeup look, but you still want it to look like eyeshadow. So those are these 4. I can't speak English right now. Those are the 4 we just talked about. Okay, 4 more orphans. So this is the Estee Lauder single in Amber Smoke. And I bought this at a CCO like probably a long time ago. Oh, look at this like clear packaging. It's very now. I was very into like these like browns, but I wasn't very specific about the browns that I liked. But that's that. I mean, I still like it, but I'm probably gonna declutter because this has been in my collection for a really long time. This is a brand called Jade, and it's a velveteen shadow in the shade Champagne. It's the second swatch, and I think it looks pretty here, but on my lid, it just looks very silvery, so that was a little misleading for me. As I go through these declutters, you'll see a lot of stuff from this brand, and I think a lot of people would like it. I just feel like maybe a lot of their stuff really is, it just veers cool toned. Bobbi Brown Camel. As much as I use this shadow, I still feel like I didn't get through it. I mean, I don't know if that's pan or not. At some point, maybe. I don't know if I should declutter it. So it's the 3rd color. I've had this for so long and it still works really well. But I feel like since like I've had this, tons of brands have included this kind of shade in palettes, and a lot of people have released singles that look similar to this, but I don't know. I don't know yet. Okay, so this is the Rodial Eye Sculpt, and I think I just got tricked into all the really good reviews. I love a lot of my Rodial stuff. I would say more specifically their complexion products, but this, it's just like difficult to work with, and it doesn't always apply that great. It's the last swatch that looks kind of, I don't know. So that's getting decluttered. So these 3 will be decluttered, and this is like a maybe. Okay, so these are from Chantecaille, and they're the Mermaid eye colors. The first one is Starfish, and that looks really pretty. I love these. Chantecaille is a brand I've only started using in maybe the past 2 or 3 years, and you know, whenever there's a sale, that's when I kind of pick something up. It is pricier, so Starfish is the first color. The second one is called Lagoon, and the 3rd shade is called Sylvie. Sorry, I'm like losing my voice whenever I do these declutters. Okay, so I didn't show you Lagoon because that just looks like, you know, your standard kind of duochrome. This is Sylvie. So in the pot, it looks like a warm tone nude. Okay, so it's the last swatch. Whenever I put this on my lid, it just looks like I have perfect eyelids. Like it just blends into like my eyelid. I don't know why. Apparently this is my color. You wouldn't think so, but I just love all of these. The wear time, how they apply, the pigment, everything is like 10 out of 10 here. Okay, so here's 3 Surratt singles. In order to not fully embarrass myself, I'm not really gonna try and pronounce any of these because I can't, but they will be listed like everything else in order of appearance in the description box. So the first one is Chocolate Noir, and I can pronounce that one. This is kind of a purpley pink and a gilded kind of green. So there are swatches in order of appearance. Now I feel like Surratt eyeshadows do not swatch well, but they perform. Now, and they're not gonna be like the highest pigment. It's kind of like an easy go-to, lived in, basic. I'm just trying to think of words that are like how I feel about them, but I don't want it to sound negative. But they're really nice. So keeping. So here are 2 Mega Metal shadows from MAC. I don't know if this formula is in the permanent line. I don't think so. So here is Center Stage and Spectacle of Yourself. I think I'm gonna declutter, oh, I don't know. I do reach for these every so often, and Center Stage is like a bit of a reddened brown, and then Spectacle of Yourself is just this like blackened copper. Oh, I don't know. This is again maybe in the maybe pile. Okay, here are 3 NARS singles. This one is called Desdemona, and it's supposed to have like a shift to it. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on like what I have underneath. This is Pasiphae, again, one that has a shift, and you'll see it in the swatch. Lastly, we have Sycorax. This was like my go-to black for a really long time. You can see like a tiny bit of pan there. So those are swatches. I was like, should I declutter? I'm keeping the green. The green, I don't have anything like that in my collection. And then Desdemona and Sycorax. I feel like Sycorax, it doesn't swatch that well, but it's a really, really great shadow. Like it blends easy. It provides the right amount of like depth. Sometimes when things are like the Natasha Denona Blackest Black is almost too black for me. Hold on. So there's a swatch of the Natasha Denona Blackest Black. Like it is really black. So again, light hand. I feel like if you're like, I don't know, everyday, basic, normal makeup user, Sycorax would absolutely fulfill your needs. If you have been on the hunt for like a really black that applies really densely and really darkly, and you know, Natasha Denona has your back. So now I feel like because I've said all that, I have to like pick one of these. This is like the worst declutter so far. Like I just can't decide anything. Okay, so this is a keep for sure, and this is a keep for sure. And then these 2 will be in the maybe pile. Okay, 2 Burberry shadows, Midnight Brown and Chestnut. Midnight Brown we've hit pan, which I'm very proud about. I used the shadow like a lot for a while. I would basically use it all over the lid on the lower lash line. It was just like a go-to eye. Chestnut is really pretty just to throw in the crease. There's very little negatives I can put out there regarding Burberry eyeshadows. All the Quints I've had, I'm pretty sure I think I've decluttered all of them. Even though I really like them, I never reach for them. So if I don't reach for them, I feel like I have to like let things go. Again, these are all, I'm just gonna keep these, keeping. This is a MAC Mineralize in Gilt By Association. I mean, those of you who are older will probably remember this collection. This is a really old shadow, but I reach for it all the time still because I can do like depending on where I place my brush, I can do my entire eye with this. Like maybe a crease shade, maybe depending, I have to like kind of watch for it, but like lid shade, using it as liner, I can go into the black. I can deepen the outer crease if I focus more on the black. It just does a lot of really, really great things. So keeping. These are 2 pressed pigments from MAC. This is To Boldly Go, which I believe was limited edition, or at least this packaging was. And this is Deeply Dashing. I feel like the pressed pigments from MAC, the formula varies. These 2 are really, really good and really, really smooth. So keeping these. Okay, 4 MAC singles that I really never reached for except when I first got them. And I just need to put them into palettes, then I'll probably go for them more. So we have Rice Paper, Soft Brown, Brown Script, and Mylar. So here we go, left to right. Rice Paper is the first MAC eyeshadow I ever bought. Not this one specifically. I went through an entire one. And it, on me, again, just makes my lids look, you know, really good, which is weird considering how this looks different from Sylvie, from Chantecaille. It's interesting that in like doing swatches of pretty much everything in my collection slowly, how I've noticed a lot of things, and the MAC matte formula is incredibly dry and dusty. Which kind of makes them like not as desirable to use. I'm not saying they don't perform as well, that kind of like depends, but they're just not as desirable to use when I'm like blending, or you know, like it's just more effort. So I'm wondering what I should do with these. I know, I'm sorry guys, there's like no decisiveness happening today. So I'll get rid of Mylar. Rice Paper I'll keep. And maybe, I wonder if I have these in palettes. Okay, 3 minutes later, I have Soft Brown in a palette, so I can declutter that, and then I will keep Brown Script, right? Okay, we have some Chanel singles. Okay, so these three with the white logos are Illusion d'Ombre, and this I think is an Ombre Premier. Yes, and that has the gold. So these three I love so much. I think this one is pronounced Diapason, forgive me. And then this one is Ebloui and New Moon. Okay, I'm gonna do my little trick for you guys so you can see how pretty the ombre, Illusion d'Ombres are. That third one is New Moon, and you can see like, it's so gorgeous and sparkly. This last one, that's the Ombre Premier, do you see this? It's like rubbery and dry, but also like moist. I can't even, I hate it. I'm so mad. People who I like trust the reviews like this color. I think even Temptalia gave it a really high rating. I'll double check, but this pissed me off. Like I could not get this to work for me and I'm angered. And it's not like I bought it some kind of like secondhand, third hand. Like I got it off of like a legit site. It was like Saks or something. I'm very upset about having to declutter it, but the other three I'm keeping and they're gorgeous. Okay, this is the maybe pile. So we're revisiting. I'm keeping this Desdemona from NARS. I feel like I still reach for this a lot and I still think it's unique in its formula. Keeping. I'll declutter Sycorax because I do have that Natasha Denona and I have blacks and like tons of other palettes. This one I've hit pan on. I feel like we've gotten really good use out of it. The Rouge Bunny Rouge, Abyssinian Catbird, also keeping. The formula really is just so, it's excellent. I'm going to actually declutter both of the paint pots. I just have to stop buying anything that's cream in a pot. Like just, I have to stop. I at some point have decluttered probably all of my ColourPop shadows. Like I can't. I feel like as someone that has a lot of makeup, I just have to stay away from like cream things. So decluttering or like back to macking. I'll declutter the center stage. I feel like this color, while I love it and while I love the formula, I have something absolutely similar in a lot of other palettes. But I am gonna keep Spectacle of Yourself. It is a very unique shade in my collection and I again love the formula of these, so I'm gonna keep this. So declutter, keep. This was not a very successful one. I feel like I could have probably gotten rid of more. Should we do more? And it's not that I feel pressured to, I just feel like when I look at everything, I'm like, what should I do? I mean, Lagoon and Lounge are basically the same shade, but not really. But this one's newer. I actually got this in the Ulta sale for like $10. Why did I get it? Nostalgia, like not even kidding, like nostalgia purposes. Urban Decay is one of the first like brands I bought like from Sephora. Like it is like my first eyeshadow palette ever. So I don't know, I felt really attached to this shade. Okay, well, I just I'll leave it as is. But I feel like if pushed, I could probably remove like, even though I love my Kat Von D, I would probably remove the Kat Von D. I would pick Lagoon or Lounge. I would probably should declutter rice paper. I don't reach for that often. I think these two are both nostalgia purposes. Okay, I could go talk for days and it wouldn't matter. All right, moving on.